So now I've got my wooden background set up. What I would recommend for this next trick here is to start in a different color than black. So I'm going to do this nice rouge and paint using the blob brush. Why do we use the blob brush? Because it makes it all into one object. Think about what you'd like to create for this. You could do any number of things as long as you are going to be able to work with multiple values. I'm going to try to break out of my box here a little bit and not do a fish. So I think I'm just going to do a lovely fruit for y'all. I'm going to do a pear because it's a nice easy shape. I can, whoops, still on the eraser here, Batman. Make sure you have your stroke turned on and your fill turned off. And we're just going to make a nice lovely little pear because this is easy for me to fill in quickly. Like I mentioned before, you may draw what you please, but start with a shaded in version of it. And by all means, please use a different color to make your life easier, even if this is not going to be the final color. A little shapely pear. I'm going to come in and do the stem. And a little leaf. Why not? Why not? All right, so let's talk about some of the different types of shading you can use. Look, there's my lovely object that isn't going to bother any of this. Some of the different forms of shading you can use include hatching, which is a form of shading where you just use directional lines. So I'm actually going to come in back to that eraser. I'm going to change the angle of it, like so. I'm going to make it much smaller because I'm going to draw with the eraser. So for hatching, just, woo, still too thick. A series of directional lines here, like so. And the closer your density is, guys, or rather the closer you put them together, the more dense your color will appear. So we're going to go this way. This is just some nice little hatching, scraping and working. And I'm going to switch back over here. Go a little bit thicker here. No. Yes. Go a little bit this way for my lovely pear lines. I'm actually going to use this to draw. Still attached. Another type of shading you can use is called stippling. Stippling is used namely with dots. So I'm actually going to change the shape of this again. Some dot. And I could do that up in here. And again, whoa, that's weird. My density of my dots is going to affect how thick my color looks. I'll show you in a minute here once you can see how these look without the path. Let's zoom out. Click, please. Now, if I put those closer together, let's say I'm doing some stippling along here, they look more blocked out. If I'm doing them farther apart, more spaced out, like so, and I could probably go even smaller for these, it looks like the shadow is trailing off, like this. So again, the closer your mark making is together, the more it's going to look like that white value underneath is showing. So these are very thick and close together. These are not so much. I could continue on with a third type of shading. Again, I'm going to want to select that, which is cross hatching. I tend to use cross hatching the most. Looks a little bit like this. You start with your regular hatching. I really got to learn to just look up at the screen because my tablet is not, in fact, calibrated correctly. And again, I'm following the form. I'm not just doing random lines everywhere. The cross hatching is exactly what it sounds like. You're going to cross over your lines as such. And it'll look much better once I start on my lovely erasing underneath. All right, So there's my pear so far. Maybe I want a nice big shine up in here. I could make my cross-hatching lines thicker. And again, I want to make sure I'm selecting just that rouge color. Okay. The thicker your lines, the closer they are together, the more they will appear bright. And if I need to go back in and erase some of my hatching lines, this is the beauty of the blot brush. I can just come in and it will snap back to that color. But keep in mind, you don't want your shading to just abruptly end. You want it to kind of trail off. So with cross-hatching specifically, you can start to leave some of it open at the end. Wow, that was not consistent. Keep your strokes consistent, friends. Look how patchy that looks. Yeesh. I think I made this thick. We're going to leave that area alone. And I can just kind of carve away these areas that I want to be lighter in value. And again, the closer your lines are together, the more they will appear to be lighter in value because you're carving away your bits. And this is going to look a little bit different once I come underneath and select my black.